Now, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. The former Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua's deportation from the United States is looming. This because Rigathi Gachagua has betrayed his own country, Kenya, through the breach of trust by exposing Kenya's security matters to the enemy. And of course, that is treason. And that is why the CS for Interior, Kipchumba Murkomen, has insisted that Rigathi Gachagua must record a statement with the DCI. Same thing to Dr. Fred Okengo Matiangi, who is also in the US for the same political reasons as Rigathi Gachagua. And also, both Matiangi and Rigathi Gachagua are in the same political coalition. So this actually what happened. Let me update you in this particular analysis here. About 3 hours ago, of course, this evening, President William Samoei Arap Ruto hosted a delegation of state secretaries from California, USA, who have been sent by Donald Trump himself for a meeting with William Ruto. I want you to watch this video here.
Kenya, as you know, sir, remains central to our U.S.-Africa policy. When we do something in Africa, we do it in Kenya first. And there's a reason for that. It's because of our shared interests and alignment on governance, on rule of law, and democracy. I think this delegation represents the breadth and depth of the people-to-people partnership as well as the subnational partnership. I was actually just in your hometown in Eldoret on Friday and had a fantastic conversation with His Excellency the Governor about his recent trip to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and what they see going forward, exciting opportunities with their sister city partnership. So the embassy will always stand ready to support states and cities, et cetera, who come to visit us because our interest is really shared prosperity for Kenyans and Americans alike. And job growth, I think, is what's really exciting.
I believe that the expertise that have been built over many years in California with your technology companies can be laced and infused with African experience. And the young men and women we have in our country that have ideas, they have passion around technology, and they have immense to contribute into that space. So your coming here is a great expression of friendship. It is a moment for us to take our engagements to a whole new level. And I'm very happy that this morning you have engaged with colleagues from different sectors in our country.
Now, this particular meeting happened after the president of the US, Donald Trump, sent a very, very strong message to William Ruto directly yesterday. In this particular video here, I read for you Donald Trump's message to President William Ruto. And also remember that this comes after the former DP Rigathi Gachagua exposed William Ruto to Donald Trump with very, very sensitive information on matters security and also how William Ruto was associated with armed group. This video here is Rigathi Gachagua exposing William Ruto to the US government and also to Donald Trump. Watch this video here.
We are also here to put the Kenyan case to the American government and to Congress and to the Senate. William Ruto, You need to know, the Americans want to know why you are working with Al-Shabaab. Why, when you are in Mandera, you met 3 leaders of the Al-Shabaab militia at night to discuss business with them. They want to know why. They also want to know why you have removed the requirement for vetting of non-Kenyans before they are given IDs. The Americans are concerned that suspected terrorists will be registered as Kenyans and they will find their way to America and the rest of the world and create terror in the world. Your decision to suspend vetting of foreigners before they are given registration in Kenya is a threat to world security. And not just the Americans are concerned, Kenyans are concerned too. And this you must answer. You cannot.
Rigathi Gachagua has also promised to share more sensitive information to Donald Trump and the US government about President William Samoei Arap Ruto. But the US President Donald Trump yesterday reached out to William Ruto. Let me give you the information concerning the phone conversation between Ruto and Donald Trump. But of course, before we begin, in case you're listening to me for the first time, or if you're joining me and you haven't subscribed, I want you to please just take a second or two and subscribe to my YouTube channel right now for you to receive more political updates from this channel, also the best political analysis. My name is Jason, and of course, this is Jason Vibes Radio, political channel. So let us begin right from here, and I want you to follow this analysis to the end. It's very important. First of all, Rigathi Gachagua said all what he said about William Ruto, exposing Ruto to the US government and to Donald Trump, because number one, Rigathi Gachagua wanted Donald Trump or the US government to punish William Ruto. And of course, according to Rigathi Gachagua, the US has already punished William Ruto. In a statement from Rigathi Gachagua himself, he said this: currently, as I speak, Kasongo is in the Interpol watch list and has been red flagged from traveling to the United States of America. The ICC is reality. I'm still following on this matter to try and find out if truly William Ruto has been red flagged from visiting the US. Because majority of what Rigathi Gachagua talks about is always propaganda. Because if William Ruto had already been red flagged by the United States, of course, that would be a breaking news for everybody across the country. Number two, Rigathi Gachagua exposed William Ruto to Donald Trump and the US government on this very sensitive matter because Rigathi Gachagua wanted to create the enmity between William Ruto and Donald Trump or the US government. And finally, Rigathi Gachagua wanted to be adored, to be loved by the US. And if possible, Rigathi Gachagua was expecting to be invited to meet with Donald Trump. So Rigathi was trying to seek the attention from the US government and the US President Donald Trump. But Rigathi Gachagua's plans backfired terribly after Donald Trump himself reached out to William Ruto through a phone conversation. You know, there is no way the US government or Donald Trump is ready to associate with someone like Rigathi Gachagua, who is ready to betray his own country for the sake of politics. US si wajinga. So this is the information from Donald Trump. Let me read for you. The headline here says, let me show you, Trump eyes Kenya in New Deal amid fresh tariffs. So when you read that particular information from this statement, it says that Donald Trump is trying to expand the exports between USA and Kenya. So that is what the conversation between William Ruto and Donald Trump was all about, despite all these issues. So this statement talks about that Donald Trump told William Ruto that he will reduce the effects of global trade and disruptions and tariff wars that have affected the country since President Donald Trump's time in office. So, Donald Trump reaching out to William Ruto on matters trade between US and Kenya, and of course you have heard from the delegates the statement that they have delivered to William Ruto today during that particular meeting, clearly indicates that there is actually no bad blood between Donald Trump and William Ruto. There is no enmity at all between William Ruto and the US government, between William Ruto and the US President Donald Trump. It is only Rigathi Gachagua who has been trying to cause the enmity between the US and Kenya, the US President and William Samoei Arap Ruto. So the enemy here is Rigathi Gachagua. He's spreading propaganda concerning the country on matters security, exposing Kenya's government to the enemy for political reasons, for political matters, simply because Rigathi Gachagua is doing everything possible to be in power in the 2027 elections. But this means that Rigathi Gachagua's plans did not work. And also, there is no way Donald Trump is going to save Rigathi Gachagua from being arrested. Once Rigathi Gachagua gets back to the country, Rigathi will be arrested immediately. That is the information from the CS for Interior, Kipchumba Murkomen. So let us wait and see how things will turn out to be. Otherwise, there is no issues between Ruto and the US government or any enmity caused by Rigathi Gachagua. I don't know what you think. I want to know your opinion in the comment section down below concerning these issues. Remember, my name is Jason. See you in my next video analysis. I'm out.